people. It was very well received, and this is something that he's going to continue to do. He went to, obviously he was in Delaware, and then he went to South Carolina, also gave another impactful speech on our democracy and our freedoms, and then he went to Texas to honor a former Congresswoman, EBJ, who recently passed away, and he went there to pay his respect. So the president did a three-day swing. He went to 4 states. He's been out there. He's been able to talk directly to the American people, and we think that's really important. Tomorrow, he's going to be in Allentown. You heard from Lael, where he's going to talk about small businesses, how important, especially in Allentown, that's been 15 million applications in 3 years. That's a record number because it's important to see how Bidenomics is working. He's going to talk about Bidenomics, but let's not forget, if people are starting small businesses, they must have some confidence in the economy. So he's looking forward to being out there tomorrow and talking again directly to the American people.
So he did a 3-day swing, but for the last 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, none of his constituents have seen him doing anything. Who decided that the American people are best served by seeing less of the president?
I would disagree. I wouldn't say they saw less of the president. He was out there, again, a couple of states in 3 days. I think that's important to note as well, and give the American people the full information here. And yesterday we noted this. He met with Paul Whelan's sister, Elizabeth Whelan. And this is a commitment when it comes to American hostages, bringing them home. The president has been committed to doing that. And we have brought home more than 30 people, 30 Americans who have been held hostage across the globe. And so the president is committed. He wanted to have a conversation with Elizabeth Whelan. He did that. He met with his national security team, as he does regularly. He did that. He had lunch with the vice president yesterday, important partner in everything that he's trying to get done on behalf of the American people. So the president is active. The president is doing what he needs to do to deliver for the American people, and he'll continue to do that.
There's an item in Axios that President Biden was advised by the White House counsel to stop giving big dollar donors tours of the Oval Office. While he has been out of view of the public for the last 3 days, has he given any wealthy campaign donors tours of the Oval Office?
So just speaking to that particular point, those stories that were out there, so as many of your outlets have covered, it is typical. It is typical for all presidents, regardless of party, to host supporters at the White House complex, which is both, as you know, his working office as well as his personal residence as well. And President Biden and his team take all of this very seriously. We take rules concerning the White House and re-election seriously, and we're proud of that. We're proud of taking those rules very seriously. I just don't have anything else to add.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.